Hi, I'm Neb, and when I was younger, I watched a little British show called Mr. Tumble. It was a show about some crazy guy with a polka-dotted bag who would go on wacky adventures with kids. It was pretty popular. If you're from England, you've probably heard of it. Oh yeah, and I also watched Grampa in my pocket.
Catch me if you can!
No! Be careful! Grandpa, stop! Grandpa in my pocket!
Grampa in My Pocket is a show set in the fictional seaside town of Sunnysand, and stars Jason Mason, a young kid and the primary protagonist, played by Jay Ruckley, and Grampa, a silly whimsical man with magical shrinking cap, played by James Bolam. The show had 4 seasons between the 10th of February 2009 and 21st of October 2014, with the 4th season being like a soft reboot for the show, with the original kid all grown up as a teenager now, and replaced with 2 new kids as the main protagonists. I actually had the idea to make a video about this show years ago, and thanks to some encouragement from a friend that you'll be hearing from later in this video, I finally made it, for better or for worse. But first, we must go back to where it all started. The first episode starts off with Jason talking about his grandpa, and all the fun things that they do together, before revealing that Grandpa's sister, Aunt Jemima, is looking after them because Jason's family are out. The main conflict of this episode is that Aunt Jemima doesn't like the family dog Beowulf. However, there is one ray of sunshine in this oppressive environment. Once Jason and Grandpa leave the kitchen to get away from Aunt Jemima's horrid vibes, it is revealed that Jason's mum and dad run the town bike shop, and that the man looking after it for them is none other than the best and possibly most powerful character of all of British fiction, Mr. Like a Biker.
Ooh, I like a bike with silver trim. Ooh,
He sounds like Tommy in it doing
No, it's Mr. Baker. I just realised.
Sadly though, we can't enjoy this reprise for long, as Aunt Jemima comes into the living room and wants to take Grandpa's hat to the charity shop. Luckily Beowulf manages to get the hat out of her hand, but Aunt Jemima threatens to take him to the doghouse. Jason is worried about that happening, but Grandpa reassures him that it won't, and that by using his magical shrinking cap, he will get Aunt Jemima to love Beowulf. Jason is against the idea, but frankly, Grandpa couldn't give less of a shit before whimsically shrinking with his cap and doing a sequence very similar to the intro. Wait, yes! Yes!
Catch me if
It's
you can!
happening again. It's happening again.
It's also here that we learn of another one of Grandpa's abilities. Previously, we knew that he could shrink, but he can also warp reality to an extent, and make any toy vehicle that he's inhabiting completely functional. This puts him from living room level to solidly in single-story building level. Also, in the Season 4 intro, he is seen using this ability on a toy duck. This begs the question, is the duck alive? Can he create an army? And on the darker side, is his entire family actually just very realistic puppets that he has created, masquerading as his family in a desperate attempt to feel loved again after his wife divorced him? More on that later. Back to the episode now. Grandpa tries a few things to get Aunt Jemima to love Beowulf, like get him to clean up her green juice, but she thinks he's the one who made the mess, and is then horrifically injured trying to clean it up. Grandma's died. And then he gets Beowulf to take the peas to her to heal her foot, but they end up ripping. But unfortunately, when she goes to hoover up the peas, disaster strikes, and Grandpa is sucked into the hoover. Grandpa! No, Grandpa! At this point, Aunt Jemima's had enough of Beowulf and is going to take him to the doghouse, something that she has no right to do considering that's not her dog. But before that, she goes to the toilet, and the door somehow ends up getting stuck. And in an attempt to try and get out, she accidentally king charges herself in the window and gets stuck.
Out the window. I'll be out in a minute.
You're on the third floor!
She goes.
Oh, Gret's gonna kill us all. That's the end of the episode.
I I'd rather die than be in this one with Grandpa.
I'm stuck in the window and it's all that dog's fault.
He doesn't
Okay,
look very
so the
stuck.
bad news was that Great Aunt Loretta was stuck in the toilet window.
But luckily, Jason thought of a way to get Grandpa out of the Hoover.
But I had an idea for getting him out.
Turn it onto like reverse.
Mum and Dad
Shoving
around.
We're just like
So I
shoving it
pecked
into
away
Grandpa
down the
like
tube.
over and over again.
And suddenly,
Grandpa's turned it to mincemeat.
Grandpa's free. But what
Grandpa.
are we going to do about
And Grandpa had a great idea about how to save Aunt Jemima. He told Beowulf to go and get the goat, Mr. Leica Biker, to come help.
We're gonna see Mr. Maker again.
Mr. Maker! It's Dr. Eggman.
Mr. Like a Biker? Until at last, Mr. Like a Biker said,
Oh, you want me to come?
And come he does. He manages to bust down the door and save Aunt Jemima. And Aunt Jemima now loves Beowulf for getting her the best sex of her life. I mean, for saving her.
and rescued Great Aunt Loretta.
That's it, I've got you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, it's not.
Aunt Jemima now proclaims that Beowulf is now...
He is Beowulf the Brilliant.
That's the end of the episode. The last scene of the episode has everyone sitting in the living room together when Aunt Jemima notices a bit of fluff on Grandpa's shoulder and asks him if he's been in the vacuum cleaner. Now you might not notice this, but this is actually a big power scaling moment for Mr. Leica Biker. Because for Aunt Jemima to figure that out from such little information needs a genius level intellect. And Mr. Leica Biker was there too, so it counts. Wow, that was a really good episode 1 section. Wait, what do you mean her name wasn't Aunt Jemima? It was Greta? Well, I'm not doing all of that again. I wanted to add some other stuff about the show to this video, so why don't we look at the two main leads and what they've done recently. So Jay Ruckley's most recent role, according to IMDb, was back in 2015, a year after the show ended, in My Dub Smash. Okay, I was ready to do a quick overview of an obscure short film, but it turns out that it's just a video of him on YouTube lip-syncing to random clips. So, okay. That was his most recent acting role after Grampa in My Pocket, so I doubt that he'll be in anything else. James Bolam, however, has continued acting, and was in a short film as recently as this year. He was in a short film called A Memory Ode, which was about a recently 91-year-old World War II veteran going to an old airfield with his carer. Sadly, I couldn't find a streaming service that had the short film, but from the trailer it looked quite good, but also quite sad. So now we've looked at what Grandpa did after the show, but have you ever wanted to know what he did before, or what I was alluding to earlier in the video? No? Well, too bad, because I'm telling you anyway. Or rather, he is.
Now I know what you're thinking. Who the fuck is this guy? YouTube.com/The Lemster. And guess what? This is a Likely Lads video now. The Likely Lads was an old BBC show in the middle of the 60s created by Dick Clements. The show followed the partnership of Terry Collier, played by the Grandpa from Grandpa in My Pocket, and Bob Ferris, not played by the Grandpa from Grandpa in My Pocket. Both of them are residents of Newcastle during the 60s. The show focuses on these characters' actual lives and how they feel towards the south of the UK. At the conclusion of the show, Terry's dumbass signs himself up for military service and ends up all alone overseas, while Bob remains in Newcastle. Sad ending for a boring fucking show. In the 70s, the Likely Lads came back in Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads, with a few differences. The biggest one is the show has colour now, so it actually looks watchable. The second change is that more than half the episodes survive, because the BBC used to delete episodes to make room for new ones. You may have heard about this through another show. The third change, the Likely Lads actually hate each other now, because while Terry went to war to kill people, Bob got richer, and now there's a divide between the two of them. The Likely Lads have their last adventure in their own movie where they... What the fuck? Why? Anyway, they both break up with their wives because they are horrible people and live miserable lives after this. So whatever happened to the Likely Lads? Shitty writing decisions. Back to the other guy.
Wow, thanks, the Lemster. That was really good. Wow, thanks, the Lemster. That was really good. Much better than the rest of the video. Well, that's all I want to put in this video. So thanks to the Lemster for all of the help, and thank you to Mr. Biker for just existing. Oh, and make sure to watch the Lemster's videos, and to go and watch the best anime of 2014, Grampa in My Pocket.